What's up, it's your boy Tarek Ali and welcome back to your boy's channel. How you doing? I hope you're doing good. When I ask y'all this, I think y'all think this is just my intro. It is just my intro. But I'd be really asking, how are you doing? How's your mental health check? Y'all know I ask that on Twitter and Instagram all the time, and I'm just always checking on you just in case you don't have anybody else to do that. So how are you? I hope you're doing well. So look, we've been getting really deep on my channel lately. I mean, that's what we do. You know, we have the conversation that most people don't want to have. You know, it gets uncomfortable. We cry a little bit. You know, that's life. You know, it's about getting to the real shit, but also having some fun. So today, I wanna have some fun, okay? And I was thinking about, what's something that's been requested? Like, people kept asking me to do more Zodiac videos after my last Zodiac video. And so since everybody liked that video, I was just like, okay, I'll do something else about Zodiacs. And I came up with this idea of just talking about the Zodiacs I've dated and the best and worst ones that I've dated. And I was gonna make this into 2 separate videos, but I was like making a list of all the people that I've dated, and let's just say I haven't got around like that, girl. I really have not dated that much. Like, to be 23, I felt like my list should be way longer. Like, yeah, I had some fun times, but like dated, I considered like, I don't know, like we talked for more than 2 weeks. And when I say talked, I'm not saying like in the colloquial sense, like, oh, we used to talk. Like, I'm just saying, like, honestly, that we talked for more than 2 weeks. And yeah, my list is still short. So today we're just gonna be talking about the best and the worst signs that I've dated. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. If you're not new here, then you know I drink wine in all of my videos. So we're drinking, yes, this is wine. I know. Okay, so look. I'm not gonna give too much of a backstory because we're not here to talk about wine. Y'all know I love wine. But this is a gift from my aunt. She knows I love wine, and this was my birthday gift in November. And I was like, I don't wanna open it because it's blue wine, y'all. It's blue wine. Not only that, it's black owned. So you already know I'm gonna put the information in the description box. But I was scared to open it because one, this just seems like a collectible type of thing. And also I was afraid for how it's going to taste. And I didn't wanna not like it because you know it's black owned. On the label, it says that it's a Chardonnay. So I like Chardonnay, so this could be a good thing, you know? Okay. Okay, give it a little swirl. Okay. It's good. Okay. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm gonna write down all the best signs I've ever dated and put that in the stack, and then I'm gonna write down all the worst signs I've dated and put that in the stack. Okay, after writing them all down, I have more on the best than I do on the worst. So I'm still gonna go over the worst, but the funny thing is, I put one of them on both lists because there were some good things about him and there were some bad things about him. Okay, starting with the worst. Okay, we have 3 on this list. I'm gonna start with Cancer. Now, I wouldn't say that this is the worst sign to date. I'm just saying I had a bad experience with a Cancer, and I wasn't too surprised, okay? I'm gonna tell you why. If you saw my other video about Zodiacs, and you know, I know a good amount about Cancers. Like, I have Cancer sisters, I have Cancer friends. Like, you know, I know they're sensitive, and I'm a water sister. Look, I'm good with the sensitive. I'm down with it, girl. Let's cry about it. Let's watch Snow White and cry. I cried 3 times while watching Soul. Like, I get it. But this Cancer, not only was he very sensitive, but he was very insecure. Insecure to the point where he would lie about this person lied so much. I was gonna wait to go to that point, but this person, like, if I could, you know how you could use one word to describe everyone you dated? This person was a liar. Like, he lied about so much. Like, for example, this is just one of the many lies that he told. He had this designer backpack, right? I like the backpack. I told him I like the backpack. It wasn't even like, oh, I like that. You gonna give me one? I'm not the type of girl. I can buy my own stuff. It was never that. You know, I was just saying, I like your backpack. You know, it was cute. But he came up with this whole story about how his mom and his family don't support him. Mind you, I was a sophomore in college. He dropped out of college, and he said that his parents couldn't help him pay for college. I believed him. I'm a trusting person. When you tell me something, I don't go out of my way and say, I don't know, this ain't adding up. I just trust that people are telling me the truth until I have reason to believe that you are a liar or that you wouldn't tell the truth. So he told me that, you know, his parents disowned him, his mom didn't like him or love him, he never knew his daddy, and so he was working at, I'm about to give away who this person is. But he was working at this place, and pretty much he made it seem like his family disowned him and he just bought everything he had in life. By the way, if y'all hear vacuuming, it's because my neighbor moved out and they're cleaning the apartment. But I'm not gonna let that control my life. I have to film, so we gonna do this. But anyways, after we stopped dating, I come to find out His mom bought him that backpack. His mom was paying his rent. His mom and him were actually close. But like for the months that we talked, he made it seem like he didn't like his mom, that he was disowned. I don't know, because I have such like a sad background, you know, the homelessness. My aunt and uncle took me in. I was juggled around homes. If you watch my YouTube, you know the story, child. I guess because he thought that my life was so hard knock life, I guess he felt like he needed to relate to me. But I don't know, it didn't even come off like that. You know, it didn't even come off in a way like, oh, I know what you're going through. It's just like he wanted me to feel bad for him. And he was a very sad guy. Like he was a very like, you call him, he was just sad. And you know, I'm not making fun of his sadness, because look, I get mental health and all of that. It's just, he was a very insecure, and he lied a lot. And he was inconsiderate. He would lie about stupid stuff, like small stuff, and I would catch him in the stupid lies. And then it was just like this last straw. I had cooked him dinner. Like I had made this grand dinner because it was Valentine's Day, and I had made macaroni and cheese, chicken, collard green. Y'all know me, I be cooking, girl. But I cooked down, right? And he was supposed to be coming, but he worked that day. So I made the dinner at like 6 p.m. or something, right? But he had got off at like 4. But he had said something like, oh, I had to stay at work for an extra couple of hours, and boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, oh, I'm sad, but I'm like, okay, I'll just stay up, and the food will be a little cold, but I can just throw it in the microwave. It's still gonna be good. This dude never came and never texted me when 6 o'clock came or 7 o'clock came. I'm calling him, texting him, and he's not answering. Come to find out, he was at the skating rink with his friends. Not only that, there was this one time he lied and said his phone got stolen. And then I saw him again, and I saw him with the same phone. And I knew it was the same phone because it had the same crack. I don't know, he just lied about a lot of stupid stuff. And he was insecure, and he was always sad. So, that's a Cancer. I'm not gonna say that that's a Cancer, but he lied a lot. And I felt like he had an identity crisis. I felt like he was trying to make up a new character with me. And I mean, I trust, but I do math as well, girl. I got an A in calculus in college, girl. It won't add up. It won't add up. The next one is a Capricorn. Now look, I have a lot of Capricorn friends. I like Capricorns, but this one thing about Capricorns, and I said this in my Zodiac video, Capricorns are those people that once they have a character and a personality and they know who they are, it's very hard for them to change. Who they are is who they are. This can be a good and a bad thing because they stay who they are, they're true to themselves, but at the same time, you meet a Capricorn 5 years ago, 5 years later, they're still the same person. And this person, now it's mixed with a whole bunch of different stuff, okay? This person I was dating, it was years ago, I was a college girl, oof. He was a DL dude, okay? And he was in the closet. I'm not gonna say he was DL. He didn't have a girlfriend and everything, and I was messing with him. No, it wasn't give it that. It just, he was very much like, oh, I'm straight, I'm not into guys, but I'ma try with you type T, girl. Ugh, I'm embarrassed. But yes, that's what it was giving, and it took him years. My dumb self, I don't know, and I was too grown for this. I was in college, yes, and it was toxic because like, I know he's in the closet, right? He says he's straight, he says he's not into it. We would do things sexually, and he would act like he didn't like it, but I'm like, dude, you're hard. So, it's getting a little adult here. But you know, oof, also excuse my nails, girl, they came off. I would do it, and you know, I'm feeling the rush. You know, when you're young, if you're gay and you've had this type of experience, it's the rush of being with the dude that's like straight and like, I don't know. Look, I'm not going into that conversation. But yes, I was in the rush when we would do stuff, and then I would get in my pride and my ego and be like, Tuh-reek, why are you messing with somebody in the closet? You know better, boom, 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 boom. So I would block him, and then a month later, he'll message me from a spam or something, be like, I miss you, boom, boom. Like, you was right, boom, boom. And we get back into the hole, we do stuff, we talk, we call, and then he gets back into that I'm not gay thing, and then I get back in my ego. We did this for years, okay? I'm so embarrassed. But yes, we did this for years, and we did that over and over. But there was this one time he finally came back on his spam because he was blocked. Like, I had really the last straw with him once. I was done, like, and I said, Tuh-reek, you're not doing this again. I had blocked him, and it was a year later, he came back, after I blocked him, he came back saying he was in therapy, and he was finally getting to the point of accepting who he was. So I was linking up with him as a friend, you know, like, I'm proud of you. Okay, y'all know that. Yes, I was linking up as a friend, I was here to support him. But y'all know, it was a piece of me that was like, I want to see the truth. I want to see if you actually accepting who you are, you know? So we met up and y'all know what happened, chat. But I would just say that was the worst part about dating a Capricorn, because my friends are the same way. My friends that are Capricorns, they are who they are, girl, and it's very hard for them to become a new person. I don't know. They don't really, they'll grow, but do they really? I don't know. That's how I feel about Capricorns. Okay, the next one. Oh, Gemini. Okay, so this is the one that's on the worst and the best. Now, I'm gonna share why this was the worst to date. I'm gonna share why. This boy was crazy. I love him to death, and he's gonna probably watch this. He's gonna laugh while he's watching this, but he's crazy, okay? He knew everything. I don't know, there's some stuff he just would know. I felt like he was literally on his phone taking notes and researching who I know, where they from, who's their friends, who's the friends of my friends. Like, he would watch people's stories and see when I'm in the background and know, and then he'll call me and we talking and he'll be like, oh, you coming from Chipotle, ain't you? I'm like, huh? And I'll be like, how do you know that? He'll be like, don't worry about it. I got my connects. I don't know, Gemini's crazy. We know Gemini's are crazy. Though he was a sweet guy, he was just a little too consumed. That's what I would say was the worst about dating a Gemini. Now, he's also on the best list, so I'm gonna say why he's also on the best list. Gemini, really loyal. And I said this in my Zodiac video. He's really, really loyal. And I never, well, first of all, I don't have trust issues. In that sense, like, I never think somebody's cheating on me. I never, like, I don't know, that's just not me. Even outside of that, just loyal in a way that, like, I never questioned how he spoke about me to other people or how he thought about me outside of my presence. Like, I don't know, even if we had an argument or, well, we didn't really argue, but even if we had a disagreement, I just always could trust him to, like, come back. Like, I knew he was always gonna be there for me. Even if it wasn't romantically, I knew he was gonna be there for me as a friend, as a person, as a human. Like, he has a great heart. And that's one thing about Geminis I've always said, like, they may be crazy, but their crazy is, I don't say worth it, but it outweighs because they're so loyal and they defend the people they love to the max. Like, when they love, they are crazy about that love. And I think that's why a lot of people think Geminis are too intense, is because they are intense. Till this day, like, I haven't talked to him in a while, but I know if I called him and if I needed anything, he would be here mentally, emotionally, just any way he can show up, he would. And that's one thing I really did love about dating him. He always showed up for me. Like, I don't know, just in moments, he just always showed up for me, and I loved him so much for that. On to the next of the best, Taurus. Okay, so look, I'm a Scorpio, and you know, Scorpio and Taurus really go together. Like, we are, like, you know how every sign has the most compatible sign? Taurus and Scorpio is the most compatible. And I would say dating this person really proved that, because he was just like, I don't know, like, I feel like Scorpios always describe it as the fiery waters. We're a water sign, but we're very the fire ones. Of the sisters, we're like the most aggressive or assertive, I would like to say. But with Tauruses, I just feel like they match our energy. Like, they just, like, you know, the horns, like, I just feel like they, you know, match us. Like, I respected him so much because in a conversation, I don't know, I just felt like I was with my equal all the time. Like, my mental match, like, and to the point where it never felt like a competition. It just felt like we were learning from each other and taking from each other all the time. We had great conversation. I will say we do get along because we both are stubborn. Like, Tauruses are so stubborn. He was so stubborn. But I don't know, for some reason I found his stubbornness attractive in a way that it was like, he knew who he was. I don't know, it was just something about, like, how he knew who he was and he knew the decisions he's made. And it's like, yeah, he could say where he went wrong, but it was just like also like accepting in his decisions and his past. And I don't know, it was just something very attractive about him, like really being confident. And I guess that honestly has to do with me dating a good amount of insecure guys. Like, and it's not on purpose. Like, I meet guys and I usually don't know they're insecure until, like, well, you don't know anyone's insecure until, like, you get to know them. So it was never like, oh, I know you're insecure, that's why I'm dating you. It's just, you date a guy and then you get deeper and then you're like, damn, you are really insecure. But I would say he was one of the most confident dudes I've ever dated. Like, I don't know, that's what I like. This is becoming more about him than it is his sign. But yeah. Okay, what's next? Scorpio. Okay, so I'm a Scorpio and I've dated several Scorpios. Okay, the first one, I don't really have much to say about him because I honestly don't remember much. I really don't. I don't know, it was a cute time, but I don't know, it was a cute time. But the other one, yes, okay. My first boyfriend was a Scorpio, and a lot of people were like, oh, this is gonna be crazy because both of y'all are Scorpios, but I don't know. But then again, I didn't really feel like he was a real Scorpio. Like, I used to always say that he was a Cancer because he just gave Cancer, because I don't know, he was very sensitive, he was very soft, and he just wasn't as, he was very defensive, but I don't really think that had to do with his sign. I don't know, I just always said this, even during our relationship, I was just like, I feel like you're really a Cancer. But he was a great boyfriend. Like, he was a great partner. But I don't know, I wouldn't take him as a Scorpio. And I just don't feel like anybody would take him as a Scorpio. Like, if you was to meet him, or if you was to be around him, like, and he told you he was a Scorpio, you would be like, really? I don't know, you ever met somebody and like they're a sign and they just really don't? To you, I'm not trying to question his identity, girl. But it's just like, I don't know, I'm just saying, to me, I just would have never guessed. And even after knowing him, I would have never considered him like a good quintessence of like what a Scorpio is. Like, I don't know, to me, but yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I can actually put Scorpio on this list because I don't know. I don't have much to reflect on that. Okay, last but not least, Aries. Okay, so actually right now I'm dating an Aries, and some of you guys know one of my best friends is an Aries, and something I always said about Aries is they love to know other people's business, but they don't share their own. They're very like, they're not quiet people, but I don't know, they just talk a lot about other stuff other than themselves. They don't like to censor themselves in conversations. They don't like the spotlight. Like, they like attention, but not really when it has to do with their business or like deeper than the outside or surface level area. Like, they like to keep the things that are really personal and deep to them to people they really love, and if not even that, they'll keep it to themselves. I don't know. And yep, that's how it's going right now. But I would say Aries, they're very loyal. They love, like, and when they love, they will show up for you as well. Like, they love really hard. I will say it is hard for them to say I love you. It is hard for them to, I don't know, for me, my experience with Aries, not that it's hard for them to say I love you, but that's not something they jump to. They don't jump to, in the beginning, not even just in the beginning, but just expressing love, like excessively or verbally. Like, they usually do that in actions. I feel like one thing about Aries, do you know they love you by what they do in their actions rather than what they say and how, like, them expressing it. But I will say, dating this Aries, he's exactly like my best friend Aries and all the other Aries I know. He likes other people's business. He doesn't really share his own. He's very private. And yeah, but he's still the best because, I don't know, Aries, they give good love. They really do give good love. And am I just saying that because I'm in a, oof, I'm about to drop my tea, child. Am I just saying that now because I'm dating an Aries now and it's a great experience? Maybe. I'll let you know after. But no, this person is a great person. But yes, so without getting further into my business, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me finish this. Not finished because it's a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to know, what is your best and worst signs that you've dated? What was your worst experience? What was your best experience? What's your sign? Don't forget to add that, girl, because that plays a huge part in it as well. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Tarek Ali. And yeah, everybody have a great day. Follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter, TikTok. Like this video, comment. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm a little tipsy. I drink a lot off camera as well. But yeah, everybody have a great day. I think I said that already. Okay, there's end screens here now, so just press one of those. Okay, I'm gonna leave now.